The bottleneck that never was. The setup, a mathematical paradox. For decades, we have been told a simple story about our origins. A single, tiny group of survivors left Africa, lived in total isolation, and somehow beat the odds to populate the world. But modern science has uncovered a problem with that narrative, a mathematical paradox. In 2023, genetic research identified a massive population bottleneck roughly 900,000 years ago, with a breeding pool of our common ancestors, late Homo erectus and early archaic humans, collapsed to just about 1,280 individuals. The problem is this. In biological terms, that is a death sentence. A group that's small, isolated for over 100,000 years, would have been wiped out by inbreeding, mutations, and the smallest natural disaster. Yet, they not only survived, they diversified into 3 distinct human types: Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Denisovans. The standard narrative of a lonely, isolated group is causally untenable. The solution? A network humanity. The solution to this paradox requires a fundamental shift in how we view the past. We must stop seeing these early humans as isolated, competing tribes and start seeing them as they truly were, a single, connected Eurasian network. We know now that the 3 lineages were not separate species struggling to produce offspring. They were ecological races of one interfertile species, perfectly adapted to different environments but socially integrated. Genetic evidence shows that gene flow between these groups was not a rare accident. It was continuous, systematic, and lasted for thousands of years. This network acted as a crucible, a system that shared resources, marriage partners, and vital survival knowledge across continents. When times got tough, our ancestors did not just scatter. They cooperated, maintaining the genetic diversity needed to avoid mutational meltdown. Forensic evidence, language and memory. This was not just a physical network. It was an intellectual one. When we analyze the oral traditions of cultures separated by entire oceans, from the Australian Aboriginal Dreamtime to Sumerian and Vedic texts, we find identical core motifs. We see the same creation stories, the same memory of a great deluge, and the same account of a sudden, catastrophic fragmentation of language. These are not just archetypes or fairy tales. As the Australian Aboriginal Dreamtime, our empirical control group, proves, oral tradition is a forensic dataset capable of preserving precise geological and historical information for over 60,000 years. These global motifs are the shards of shared human software, a common proto-language, and lore that held the network together before the Great Collapse. Conclusion. Why does this matter? It changes the entire trajectory of human history. We were never as fragmented or as young as the classical narrative claims. We were once more connected, genetically, culturally, and linguistically, than we have been taught to believe. The bottleneck was not the end of our story. It was a crucible that forged it. Humanity did not just survive by luck in isolated pockets. We thrived because we built a global network of trade and shared identity. And if we look with clear eyes, the evidence of that ancient unity is still hiding in plain sight, waiting to be reassembled. I hope this version works perfectly for your project. Would you like me to adjust the tone or focus on any specific aspect of your research for the next segment?